Bhagavad Gita class yet to children, so let's try to do this today. Um, I think what we're gonna do is read the third chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita is a very complex book, very hard to understand sometimes. I remember when I first got the Bhagavad Gita, I was 10 years old, and I didn't really understand anything. And then I tried reading it again, and I still didn't understand anything. And I kept trying to read it, and I didn't understand anything. But after a certain age, it started to make much more sense. So let's see how we can apply this. How old are you guys? Let's go left to right. How old are you? 10, 11, 4, okay, 14. Wow. And you? And 25. Okay. Yeah. She's anonymous. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So we got 10, 11, 4, 14, 25. Okay. So I'll try to make this Bhagavad Gita for 4-year-olds and up. Let's see if I can do this. So maybe I can just talk about what the Bhagavad Gita is. Do you guys know what the Bhagavad Gita means? No? Yeah. So Gita means song. Can you guys say that? Gita means song. And Bhagavad means God. Yeah. Do you guys believe in God? Oh, okay, that's good. So Bhagavad Gita means song of God. So this says a lot because it shows us that God is very poetic. He likes music. He likes to dance. He likes to sing. It's not some old man in the sky. A lot of people think God is some old man in the sky. But here in Bhagavad Gita, it's teaching that no, God is young and he's very cool and he likes to dance and he likes to sing and he likes to play. And this book, it takes place on a battlefield. So do you guys see this first picture? That's a battlefield. Yeah. And usually on a battlefield, two armies fight together. So Krishna is the main character, and he has a friend named Arjuna. Do you guys know who Krishna is? Oh, who's Krishna? Yeah, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And do you guys know who Arjuna is? Oh, who's Arjuna? Yeah, he's a great warrior. So Arjuna was about to fight this big battle with on the battlefield, and then he wanted to see who he was going to fight. So he asked Krishna if he can take him closer so he can see who he's going to fight. And then when he saw who he was going to fight, it was actually his family members, like his friends, his teachers, his uncles, his cousins. And Arjuna, he felt like, I can't fight this battle anymore. But Krishna was trying to tell him that these people that you're about to fight, they're actually bad guys. Even though they're your family, they're actually bad guys. And then he was trying to teach that it will be a greater harm if you don't fight, because then they'll make society very bad. They'll cause a lot of damage to the world. So by fighting with them, then you will actually protect the world, and the world needs you. That's what Krishna was trying to tell Arjuna. So like that, Arjuna was asking about the science of life, Why do bad things happen to good people? Why am I forced to fight in this way? He was asking about what happens to the body after it dies, all these deep questions. And Krishna, he's like the teacher, and he's trying to teach Arjuna these answers. Yeah, so it's very interesting. So I'm just wondering how much you guys actually know so far. So do you guys know what happens when the body dies? Can anybody say? Yeah, that's right. So when the body dies, you have a soul inside your body, and the soul comes out, and based on the things that you did in that life, it's gonna take a new body. So there's like these pictures in the Bhagavad Gita where it shows somebody who sleeps a lot and is very lazy and is not productive and doesn't take much action in life. Um, what do you call that type of person? That person is very lazy, right? Yeah. So who else is very lazy? There's actually animals that are very lazy. Can anybody say which animal is very lazy? There's an animal that sleeps a lot. Which animal sleeps a lot? Which one? Oh, sloth. Yeah, sloths sleep a lot. So if you sleep a lot in this life, then next life you'll take a body of a sloth because you like to sleep so much. Also, bears like to sleep a lot. They hibernate 6 months out of the year. So if you sleep so much, then next life you can come as a bear. And you might think, oh, that's cool, like I get to be a bear. But actually, yeah, it's not cool. We have to keep moving up to a higher and higher body. Because being on this human planet, on this earth planet, it's not the right place for us. We're kind of like fish out of water right now. You guys have heard of this story before, the fish out of water? No? So, oh, somewhat? Okay. So there was a fish, and his name was Fishy. And Fishy jumped out of the water. And Fishy was thinking that I'm going to now enjoy life on the sand. So he started making a fishy house, and he got a fishy car, and he got a fishy girlfriend, and everything was fishy about him. And he was thinking, oh, I'm going to be so happy now. I have a house, I have a car, I have a fishy friend. But the fish wasn't happy because the fish, why do you think the fish wasn't happy? After all this, he has the car, the house, the girl fish. Why wasn't the fish happy? Y- yeah. Yeah, that's right. He wasn't where he was supposed to be. He wasn't where his group was, where his other fishy friends were. So the fish is actually supposed to be in the water. That's where it belongs. And in the same way, we're supposed to be in the spiritual world. We don't belong here. This is like the sand. And we're trying to create houses and cars and girl fish and guy fish, but actually we'll be really happy when we go back to the spiritual world. And in the spiritual world, that's where Krishna is. And Krishna is just waiting for us to come back. So we all are on the path to go back to Krishna. And everyone's gonna go back eventually. But sometimes, some people, it takes them longer. Some people, it takes them a shorter amount of time. So what we're trying to teach, and what Bhagavad Gita is trying to teach, is just to speed up the process. So this life can be your last life. And then next life, you'll be back in the spiritual world. You don't have to come back as a sloth. Yeah. So that's very nice to know. And so Krishna is trying to teach Arjuna all these different lessons. And by Arjuna learning these lessons, he is now understanding how to act properly in this world. Sometimes we get these different emotions that we don't want to get. Like sometimes we get angry. Do you guys ever get angry? Yeah. What makes you guys like angry? I'm wondering. What's something that makes you angry? Homework? Yeah. Homework makes you angry. Yeah, that's pretty good. What about you? What makes you angry? Oh yeah. Yeah, when we thought something would happen, it doesn't happen. Oh, yeah? Oh, when you lose sometimes you get angry. Yeah, what makes you angry? Yeah, okay, that's cool. Yeah, so we all have anger in this life, and we don't feel good when we get angry. But Krishna is trying to teach how to solve the problems of anger and how to solve the problems of expectations. So expectations is when we think something's gonna happen, but it doesn't happen. So Krishna is trying to teach that we should not be attached to the results, but we should be attached to the action. Does that make sense? Yeah. So let's say you have to, like, do you guys play any sports? What sports do you guys play? Oh, soccer. So let's, oh, you play soccer too. That's very nice. Yeah. So let's say that you're playing soccer and you really want to win the game, and you're expecting that you're going to win the game. And the whole time you're thinking, I need to win this game, I need to win this game. And that's where your mind is. And let's say then you lose and you don't win the game. So then you become very unhappy. And let's say while you were thinking, I need to win the game, you weren't even focused in the soccer game. You weren't even kicking the ball right because you were in your thoughts. So Krishna is trying to teach, don't focus on the results, just focus on the action. Put your heart into the action. Do whatever it takes to be in the moment. Be fully present in the activities that you're doing. And then you will actually feel a greater level of happiness. And if you want even more happiness, then you gotta do actions for Krishna. You gotta remember Krishna while you're doing your actions. Even if you're doing your homework, you gotta think, okay, I'm doing this homework for you, Krishna. And you can actually talk to Krishna. He will hear you when you talk. So sometimes when you're in your room and you're trying to basically communicate with Krishna, although he's very far away, he's also very near, because it says that Krishna is inside your heart. That's where you find Krishna. So you can actually talk to Krishna when you connect with Krishna. And when you talk to Krishna, then your life becomes really happy. He's like the ultimate friend that we're looking for. Krishna even says in Bhagavad Gita that I am your best friend. So we have lots of friends in this world, and we might have also a lot of good friends, but we should know that Krishna is our best friend. And we can always talk to him whenever there's any problem, whenever there's any doubt. So that's a really good thing to know. Do you guys talk to Krishna sometimes? Oh, you do? Yeah. What do you guys talk about? You talk about what? What do you say? Yeah, you talk to Krishna. Okay, that's very good. Yeah. And he likes him when we talk to him. That's what it means to be personal. Have you guys heard of this word before? Being personal? Yeah. So being personal is when you acknowledge Krishna as a person, and you talk to Krishna as a person, And also other people in this world, you acknowledge them, you respect them. You don't treat anybody badly, but you acknowledge that they're also a part of Krishna. Because we're all tiny parts of Krishna. Every one of us, even all the animals, even all the ants. When I learned this knowledge, I didn't even want to step on an ant because I knew that that ant is connected to Krishna. So anything that grows, we have to treat it with respect. Does that make sense? Do you guys step on ants? Oh, that's very good. Yeah, so it's good to have that understanding. And that's what the word compassion means. Have you guys heard of the word compassion before? Oh, compassion just means having a lot of love. Yeah, you just have a lot of love for everyone. You have a lot of, yeah, the heart's here. Compassion's here. Krishna's here. So, yeah, it's really cool. So you don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to go anywhere far. You just have to go within. That's the best place to travel, to go inside. And then you'll be very happy. And if you have this type of knowledge and understanding, then you won't have any mental problems. A lot of people in this world these days, they have a lot of mental problems. They have a lot of stress, they get really sad, they get really depressed. But those who have the knowledge of Krishna, they're very happy and they're very much full of joy. So that's really nice. So we're basically looking at this first picture where Arjuna is about to fight this big army. Krishna teaches him the science. And I wrote something like recently. Do you guys like rhyming? Do you guys like rhymes, like music? Okay, that's cool. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go through the whole third chapter and I'm gonna rhyme each single verse. Okay? So hopefully you guys can follow along. So if you guys want to turn to the third chapter, it's on page 189, I believe. Or, let me see. Yeah, 139. And so the black bold part of each page, that is the translation. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn that into a rap so you guys can understand it a little bit better. Okay. Oh, you got to go? Oh, okay. So let's do this. So Arjuna asked, you've mentioned that intelligence is better than action. So why should I fight in this terrible war with passion? Next verse. You confuse me with your mixture of knowledgeable words. Please help me understand the best process to observe. Then Krishna said, I've explained two paths, but understand them fully. You may renounce your work, but what's superior is doing your duty. No one can remain without work for a moment, for the nature of the soul is action towards the splendor. You may restrict your senses from the object, but if your mind continues to dwell on sense gratification, you're called a pretender. Some of these rhymes, I've taken certain verses and combined them. So now I'm on 3.7. On the other hand, if a sincere person works to satisfy the Supreme, he will automatically balance his mind and lose attachment to wicked greed. Do you guys know what greed means? Greed. What does greed mean? Yeah. Yeah, greed means you want everything for yourself. So what's the answer to greed? If greed is wanting everything for yourself, then what is the solution to greed? Yeah, sharing. That's the right word. So they say sharing is caring. Do you guys like to share with each other? No? Well, maybe we can start. Somewhat? Okay. We have to learn to share more. When we share more, we care more. Yeah. Can you guys say that? When we share more, we care more. Okay, very cool. So Krishna is teaching Arjuna that we have to learn to share more. So now I'll move to the 3.8. Perform your daily duties, for this is better than retraction. We can't even maintain our bodies without daily action. Uh, 3.9. Without offering our fruits to the Supreme, we will be bound by our karmic deeds. Do you guys know what this word means? Karma? What does it mean? Yeah, that's right. So in this life, if you treat someone bad, the next life, they're going to treat you bad. And there's actually a word called mumsa. Have you guys heard of this word before? Mumsa? Mumsa means meat. Like people that eat meat, that's what the word mumsa means. And mumsa literally means that right now I'm eating you, so next life you can eat me. So yeah, we don't want to be eaten. It's not very good. So we have to eat healthy foods. Eat foods that help us become more active for Krishna. Yeah, and then you can grow up. That's very good. Yeah, we need to grow up. So 3.10. In the beginning, Brahma, the engineer of all beings, told his descendants to give offerings to the Supreme. Offerings not only alleviate anxiety, but create within you more piety. You guys know what piety means? Oh, piety means like goodness. Yeah, so if you have more piety, you have more goodness. So it's a good word. Yeah, that's right. You can do good. 3.11. Not only that, those offering will also please demigods and higher planets. A mutual cooperation will be created between earthlings and extraterrestrials with more advancement. Have you guys heard of aliens before? Extraterrestrials? So you know what? We're actually all aliens. Yeah, that's right, the aliens. So why are we all aliens? Can anybody say? Yeah. Yeah, that's right. And we're also aliens because we don't belong to this world. We're like aliens is someone that come from the outside to a foreign place. So we're actually aliens because we've come from another place and now we're in this place. But this is not our true home. We're like fishies out of water. So we got to go back to the water. Yeah. So, okay, 3.12. If we enjoy without acknowledging the Creator and Chief, then that enjoyment is certainly compared to the enjoyment of a thief. You guys know what I just said? Can anybody? I'll say it again. If we enjoy without acknowledging the Creator and Chief, then that enjoyment is certainly compared to the enjoyment of a thief. Can anybody break down what I just said? Uh huh. Yeah, that's right. And you wanted to say something too? Oh, okay. So, when we steal from other people, that's when it's called being a thief. And uh, so we have to understand that Krishna actually owns everything. So anything I take, like if I take this, I'm a thief because Krishna owns it. If I take this book, I'm a thief because Krishna owns it. If I eat food, I'm a thief because Krishna owns it. So I have to understand that Krishna owns everything, and I have to think of Krishna when I take something, and that way I'm not a thief anymore. So any type of action you do, try to think of Krishna before you do it, and then you're no longer a thief. So that's the goal of life. We just have to think of Krishna more and more. 3.13. Those respectable people who eat only after offering their food receive no type of sin due to their grateful attitude. So, do you guys know what prasad is? Prasadam? Have you guys heard that before? Yeah, prasadam is food. But what's the difference between food and prasadam? Yeah, what's the difference? Yeah, so prasadam is that we offer it to Krishna, and food is just food. So that's what makes you not a thief, when you offer things to Krishna. Yeah, so that's really cool. So anytime you eat something, just try to think of Krishna and then eat it. And that's really good. So now I'm going to say 3.14, 3.15 together. All creatures arise from food and grains, which arise from rain, which arise from our prayers and offerings. These prayers are taught in the yoga texts, which arise from the Supreme Being who inaugurates next. 3.16. He who does not follow the universal laws of yoga only lives to enjoy the senses with self-pleasure. Such a petty life with no higher reality deprives one of boundless treasures. But he who takes pleasure in the self with self-realization becomes detached from material desires, anxiety, and agitation. You guys know what agitation means? Agitation is like an itch. You know when you gotta really scratch? That's like it's bugging you. It's an agitation. So you can also have agitation when you desired certain things. Like you really want something and you're agitated by it. Yeah, so you can talk to Krishna and then you won't be agitated anymore. So the more you talk to Krishna, there will be no more agitation. And if you really want something, then you also talk to Krishna and then Krishna will give it to you. Yeah, so that's how it works. It's really cool. What's something that you guys want right now? What's on your wish list? Yeah? You want a phone. So if you want a phone, you just got to talk to Krishna. Be like, Krishna, I need a phone. And you should use that phone to call Krishna. Yeah, Krishna has a phone. He actually has lots of phones. Yeah. I'll give you his phone number after. Yeah. Yeah, lots of phones. So, and sometimes we might ask for a phone and Krishna might not give it right away because we don't know when it's good for us. We might think it's good for us now, but Krishna knows, no, it's not good for them now. It might be good for them in 2 years or 3 years or 1 year. So Krishna will make you wait a little, but it's for your own good. Yeah, so we should trust Krishna. If we trust Krishna, we'll be very happy. Okay, 3.18 and 19. A self-realized person does not depend on any job or living being. He works without attachment and attains the supreme. Kings like Janaka and others followed these wisdom teachings and attained all perfection. To set a good example, you should also perform your duty to encourage the right direction. Do you guys know who King Janaka is? Oh, do you guys know who Rama and Sita is? Does it sound familiar? Yeah, so Krishna sometimes comes in other ways. So sometimes one time he came as Lord Rama. And Lord Rama had a wife named Sita. So Rama Sita, it rhymes with Bhagavad Gita. And Sita's dad was Janaka. Yeah, so that's who King Janaka is. And he was like a really good king. He always did the right thing. And so we can learn a lot from King Janaka. Can you guys all say his name? King Janaka. Wow, that's very good. So 3.21. Oh, this is my favorite verse actually. This book, Bhagavad Gita, has 700 verses. But this one is one of my favorites. So let's talk about it. 3.21. It's like 3, 2, 1. Time to go. Yeah, remember that for the rest of your life. You'll be very happy. Okay, here we go. You guys ready? Yeah? Okay. Whatever action a great man performs, common people will follow in his path. Whatever standards he sets through exemplary acts will inspire the world to accomplish tremendous tasks. You guys like that? Yeah, it's pretty cool, right? So it's basically saying that you have to become a leader. If you act like a strong person, if you act like a good person, then other people are going to follow you. And that is very beneficial for our lives. We have to set good, we have to be a role model. If you become a role model, then other people will start to roll with you. So let's always remember that. Yeah, do you guys have like a lot of friends? Oh, that's very good. And are you like the leader in your friendship? Oh, that's very good. So you're a role model. So the more you act like a role model, then other friends will follow and they will actually become convinced. So it's very good. And are you guys all brothers and sisters? Oh, wow, very cool. Nice family. Yeah, so you can also be role model. You have to be leader. It's very good. That's right. So we'll continue on 3.22. O Arjuna, for myself, there's nothing in this world that I desire or hanker to be attained. Yet I still perform my duty for the self, for the example it will proclaim. 3.23 and 24. If I didn't engage in work responsibly at any time, then all people would follow my ways and lose sight of the sublime. So basically, I'm reciting each verse, but I'm doing it through Bhagavad Gita raps. So I'm just transforming them. Okay. And, okay, so I'll say 3.23 and 24 again. If I didn't engage in work responsibly at any time, then all people would follow my ways and lose sight of the sublime. Do you guys know what this word sublime means? Oh, sublime means very, very happy. It means spiritual. You guys heard of this word spiritual? What does spiritual mean to you? Whoa, yeah, it's a good place to be. So this place is spiritual because it's a good place to be. And anything connected to Krishna becomes spiritual. Even this microphone, right now it's material, but because I'm using it for Krishna, it becomes spiritual. You guys have heard of this story, King Midas and the golden touch? Oh, you heard of it? Oh, okay. Oh, do you want to tell the story? Oh, okay, I'll tell it. So King Midas was a king who had a lot of greed. Remember we talked about the word greed? What does the word greed mean again? When you want everything for yourself. So King Midas wanted a benediction. A benediction is like a wish. And he wanted anything that he touches turns into gold. Yeah, pretty amazing. So he got the wish, and then he was touching this, and he was touching the floor, and he was touching the chairs, and it was all turning into gold. He was so happy. But then he touched himself, and he became gold, and he couldn't move anymore. So that was the problem. Wow, that's like a much better ending. So yeah, that's like really interesting because we have sometimes so much greed and we want everything for ourselves, but we might end up hurting someone along the way. And it makes us realize more about sharing and caring. Remember we talked about sharing? Yeah. So same thing actually with spiritual and material. Right now, everything in this room is, let's just say, material. But if it's connected to Krishna, it becomes spiritual. So now the chairs are spiritual because there's saintly people sitting on them. And the food is spiritual because it's offered to Krishna. And the paintings are spiritual because there's pictures of Krishna. Yeah. And the TV is spiritual. You guys like watching TV sometimes? Yeah, so we can watch spiritual TV. We can watch these Krishna cartoons. You guys seen Krishna cartoons before? Yeah, you just gotta type Little Krishna on YouTube. It's really cool, really awesome. So like that, you can make your life a good place to be. So, okay, we're gonna move to 3.25. As the unconscious perform their duties with attachment to the result, the conscious stay detached to escape nature's thunderbolts. The wise should not disturb the intelligence of those who are attached, but rather engage them in higher service they can latch. So I think this is also a really important message, that if somebody is not spiritual or if somebody is not acting right, it's not your duty then to correct them and say, hey, what are you doing? You shouldn't do that. I mean, you can if you're really close to them, but rather it's better to be a role model, to be a leader. Speaking of role models, he's back. So it's very important to be a role model. Yeah, hey. Okay. 3.727. The person bewildered by false ego thinks he's the doer of all his actions, yet nature has its share in making outcomes happen. Do you guys know what false ego means? Oh, what does it mean? Oh, okay. So, false ego is when you think you know something, but you actually don't. So you actually performed an example of false ego. So, when we think we're like really big in life, when we think we're really amazing in life, and we feel like, oh, I'm so great, I'm so talented, that's false ego. But when you connect Krishna to that greatness, that I'm great because I'm grateful, then you truly become great. That is real greatness. So I think it's important to have more gratitude in our life. Do you guys know what gratitude means? Do you know what grateful means? So grateful is the same thing as gratitude. They say when you have more gratitude, then you raise life's altitude. You move up in life, and then you have much better attitude. Yeah, so it's good to be gratitude. And when you have gratitude, then you become gratitude. You're always happy. So this is really important. You guys want to be happy, right? Yeah, so that's how you do it. 3.28. The wise, however, see the difference when working for devotion and working for selfish gain. With this type of vision, you'll produce the higher mental frame. The ignorant continue to work wholeheartedly for material results and become deeply attached. Still, the wise do not disturb their minds, but simply lead a higher path. Therefore, O Arjuna, offer your works to the Supreme, becoming free from proprietorship and possessiveness. As a warrior, fight for your people's righteousness. Do you guys know what this word means? Proprietorship? Yeah, it's a pretty big word. So proprietorship is basically things that you own. But again, we should remember who's the real proprietor. Who's the real proprietor? Yeah, that's right. He owns everything. So when we remember that, then we're acting in the right way. 3.31 and 32. We're almost done with the chapter. Those that follow my teachings with faith and without envy are considered free. Those that ignore these universal truths continue their path of suffering. Even a man of knowledge acts according to his nature. By ignoring your essence, you become your own traitor. Yeah, so I think it's really important that we act according to our nature. We don't try to become like someone else, but we find out what we have inside to share with the world. Because each one of us is very unique. And that's the special thing about Krishna and his creations, that he has made all of us unique. So you have something inside of you that no one else has. And if you are able to bring it out and share it with the world, then you are living your nature. So it's important to go within, find that talent that you have, and then share it with the world. What do you think your talent is? What's your nature? Okay, so soccer. So what do you like about soccer? Mm. Wow. So I think that your nature is much deeper than soccer. It seems that your nature, you like to be in team environments and you want to do whatever you can for your team to make sure that you guys win. And that's why you're like the role model of your friends, right? You're the leader. So that's really good to have that type of mood, because if you continue to be a leader and you continue to lead and win and have teamwork effort, then you are living your nature. That's really cool. Okay, 3.34. Attachment and disgust are firmly fixed in every sense object. Do not come under the control of these two, as they will blockade your conquest. So this verse is saying that attachment is what blocks us from winning. So when we become too attached to, like you were saying, like winning a game, we should focus rather on the action. We should be attached to the action, not to the result of the action. You remember that? Yeah. So, because like let's say you want to win the soccer game, but you're so concerned about winning that you forget to even play correctly. So it's better to just focus on playing, to be in the moment, in the zone, and then you will truly win that way. Even if you lose, you'll still win because you will gain something out of it. 3.35. It's better to execute your own natural inclinations, even though there might be some fault. By imitating other occupations, you create a perilous halt. Perilous halt just means you stop yourself from going further. So now 3.36, Arjuna asked, "O Krishna, why do we engage in negative energy, even unwilling, as if by nature's force? Some of us have not chosen this unwilling course." So here Arjuna is asking Krishna a really important question. He's saying, Krishna, how come even though I know the right thing, why do I still do the wrong thing? Like, sometimes when you eat, like what's one of your favorite foods? Muffins. Okay. So, you know that you like muffins, so you eat one muffin and then you eat two muffins. And now you know it's wrong, that if I eat three muffins, there's going to be a problem later on in the stomach. But you then eat three muffins, and then you eat four muffins, and then you eat five muffins. What's the most muffins you've ever ate? Okay, so let's say you eat 10 muffins. So you know that you should have stopped at the third muffin, but you just keep going. So why do you think that is? Like, you know that you shouldn't eat more muffins, but you keep eating more muffins. Why do you think that happens? Yeah, that's right. So we become so conditioned to our habits that it just forces us. And that's what Arjuna is asking here. I'll say it again. Arjuna asked, "O Krishna, why do we engage in negative energy, even unwilling, as if by nature's force? Some of us have not chosen this unwilling course." So now Krishna is going to answer your question, like, why do we do this? So 3.37, Krishna said, "It is due to lust, which arises from passion, and later transforms into rage. It is a ferocious enemy, keeping us in our cage." Do you guys know what this word is? Lust? Do you guys know what that means? No? Yeah, okay. So lust is very similar to greed, that you are very obsessed with something, and that means you're lusting over it, you're greeding over it. So Krishna is saying that's where all problems happen. Because if you lust for something and then you don't get it, then you get angry. And if you get angry, then you don't have intelligence at that point. So sometimes we want to enjoy so badly, but we forget the short-term happiness and the long-term happiness. Short-term happiness, yes, it's very enjoyable, but we should always keep the long-term happiness in mind, that, okay, I have to play a soccer game tomorrow, and if I eat more muffins, then I can't win the game. And what's going to give me more happiness, eating more muffins or actually winning that game? Yeah, that's right. So we got to win the game of life, and that's what Krishna is teaching us. So 3.38 is as fire is covered by smoke, the mirror by dust, and an embryo by a womb, the entire universe is covered by the lust to overconsume. So everybody in this world, Krishna is saying, likes to overconsume. They take more than they need. And do you guys know who Gandhi is? Yeah, he's like a peaceful person. And he said that there's enough in this world for everybody's need, but there's not enough in this world for everybody's greed. So if we just take what is rightfully ours and share the rest, then we will be happy. So instead of eating 10 muffins, you can eat 3 muffins and give 7 to him. So then it's all good. Yeah. 3.39. Thus the wise living entity's pure consciousness gets covered by the eternal enemy of lust, which burns like fire, never satisfied and unbearable to trust. So lust is something that you can never satisfy. If you eat 10 muffins, the next day you're going to want to eat 11 muffins and then 12 muffins. You just want more and more and more. But if you have the intelligence at that time of action, then you can stop this lust, because lust is something that you can never trust. 3.40. The senses, the mind, and intelligence are the opening doors for this lust. Through them, the enemy creeps in, the soul gets covered, and it makes it problematic to adjust. 3.41. Therefore, the first step is to control the senses with regulation that's modest. Only then can you slay this enemy with the weapons of knowledge. 3.42. The working senses are superior to dull matter, and the mind is superior to the senses. Higher than the mind is the intelligence, and even higher is the soul that's present. And last verse of this chapter. You guys ready for this? Okay, here we go. Thus you now understand the soul being eternal and superior to all. For that reason, become established with spiritual strength, and negative energy will not be enthralled. That means that Krishna is asking you to just be like Arjuna, become a warrior of spiritual strength. He mentioned weapons of knowledge. This is what we have to equip ourselves with. Understanding this book more, understanding these lessons more, and then we will be really able to fight with life's problems. Yeah. So maybe I can ask you guys, what's one thing that you guys remembered from this whole discussion? What's something that stands out? Mm. Yeah, that's right. So yeah, so then the whole goal of life is to just share more and care more and have less greed and fulfill everyone else's need and always think of Krishna, and then we won't be deceived. So if we work in this way, then everything is going to be okay. Yeah. Do you remember one thing? Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, Krishna is telling Arjuna that you should work for me rather than being lazy. Remember, if you're lazy, you become a sloth or a bear. Yeah, that's not good. Yeah, yeah. Sloth is much worse. Bear is okay, but better is like even getting a higher body. You can be a spiritual bear. That's like way better. Yeah, moving up. Do you guys have any questions? Well, after Krishna explains everything to Arjuna. So after Krishna explains the whole Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, Arjuna feels confident and he feels that, wow, I have such amazing knowledge now and I know what to do. So then there's a story called the Mahabharat, which is the continuation of Bhagavad Gita, and it teaches that the good defeat the evil, and Arjuna comes out winning. Just like you win the soccer game, Krishna or Arjuna won the battlefield game. Yeah. You what? Oh, Arjuna is your brother's name? Which one's your brother? Oh wow, you got a cool brother's name. Yeah, that's amazing. And what's your name? Your name is Radharani. Okay, and what's your name? Ryan, like Narayan. And what's your name? What is it? Chaitanya. Wow, man, you got the best name. And what's your name? Christopher, like Christ. You guys have holy names. Yeah. So now you guys are going to do good things in the world. You guys now have the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. You won't feel any more greed. You'll learn to share. You'll be good role models for society. And you'll always think of Krishna. And remember, when you want things in life, they might not always come to you right away. But Krishna knows when it's the right time to give it to you. So these are all important lessons that we can learn. Yeah. And I think now we're about to see Krishna, so we can all pay our respects. Thanks very much.